Here we go. Day five of the Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics promo week. My name is Tim Mikhelishvili. I'm the host of this event since in its third year, and we're celebrating competition, innovation in healthcare, medical affairs, pharma, and biotech. Look, Amadea Pharma is a company that's bringing sportsmanship into the pharma industry. That's combining the elements of sports with data science designed to improve performance. So, one of the best ways to demonstrate that has been to sponsor this event that's inspired by decades of experience in medical affairs, in pharma. Some of the most memorable approaches and moments and highlights from our careers, competition events, ideation events, internal ones, private ones, in which we felt like our daily contributions, ideas translated into particular outcomes. We received recognitions, drove drove ourselves to think differently, stimulated ourselves, challenged ourselves, just like I'm doing this week. It had been a while since I had gone live on LinkedIn. Yes, I was one of the first ones in my function in medical affairs to receive live privileges, LinkedIn live privileges, in particular 6 years ago. But throughout the summer, and even from the dating back to the spring, I hadn't gone live yet. I wanted to challenge myself this week in order to bring this event to your attention, my friends. All right, so this is the last day, right? And there's a reason why we're doing that. In addition to this challenge and this personal challenge, had helped me kind of analyze also what worked, what didn't work this week, edit and revisit, and also get better. Because ultimately, what we're striving for in business, in sports, is not just performance, but it's consistency. All right. So, what is that recipe for performance or recipe for consistency? You may be great at doing something, whatever it is, whether it's sports or your work. Okay. But if you do not analyze your efforts, your workflow, how many hours you're putting into what muscles you're training if you're competing in a particular event, right? If you don't study the proportions of your activities, of your different activities relative to each other, then you will not be able to reach that consistency. And those were some of the thoughts that came to me as I've been watching the Olympics this year, the Paris Olympics, where I was observing certain athletes repeat their gold medal performances in certain disciplines and fail to do so in others over time. Where I saw someone who was a veteran, who's been in the sport for decades, who's used to jumping over 2 meters and 40 centimeters, for example, fail to even qualify. And so, based on my recipe and the point that I made earlier, over time, as we age, in Olympic sports in particular, we need to study which muscles we're training. How long are we spending in that activity? Similar to medical affairs, in pharma, in our global benchmarking industry report on medical affairs metrics, the latest, largest global report demonstrated a gap in the analysis of metrics of our activities, as 70% of 51 global companies surveyed do not analyze how activities lead to outcomes. And about 60% do not believe that the metrics they use to study their performance guide their decisions. So we at Amadea Pharma believe that performance should lead to better decision making. And so when we want to replicate our masterpieces and successes, Olympic medals, we must be ready to break down and study our performance and how it relates to outcomes. And that's what this exercise, this exciting shared experience, the Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics, has allowed us to take greater, deeper insight into our performance in medical affairs. This seemingly nebulous, little known, but multifunctional profession and specialty that directly leads to revenue, improved patient and business outcomes. And so we're inviting feedback and in real time, by the way, all right, comments from everyone who's within medical affairs, who's outside of medical affairs, who's in healthcare, and wants to see the pharma and biotech industry directly and objectively improve their performance, make medications more accessible, make care more continuous, and of higher quality as well. Now, this is the last day. Please, as you catch me here on LinkedIn, I know I've gone every day. I haven't even given you enough notice, and I haven't followed all the social media algorithms. But throughout this week, this experiment has allowed me to understand that it worked. I reached some people because I received a lot of great comments, questions from people who were too busy. They may have not have had time to interact with me, leave me a comment here, but throughout my meetings this week, I had to respond to some questions, and there are medical affairs professionals, physicians who are already registering. We have sponsors who have now begun to think about the agenda. And so what I'm going to cover today, in addition to answering any ad hoc questions you have, which you can post here, because we're live on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on LinkedIn. In addition to the comments here, I'm going to address the call for speakers. Okay, I'm going to explain to you why you should sponsor this meeting. There's still sponsorship spots open. And then who should be competing, what the categories are as well. All right. We're going to go over that real quick. I'm going to highlight for you some of the pages that will become familiar to you as you go on the Amadef Pharma website and as you follow me. All right. No. So sign up today. Today's the last day. The last day for an early bird discount pricing. There's a lot of learning and development that takes place. Get your company, pharma company, your sponsor to expense this. Provide them a business case. When you go to the call for speakers, when you go to my website, you'll see the level of education that takes place and the caliber of the backgrounds that we have among our speakers. And that speaker pool is only increasing right now as I'm getting new confirmations for speakers every day. All right. So it's a lot of exciting, developments here with this event, my friends. Just stay tuned. This is the theme and the slogan: discover new power in medical decisions. Okay. Medical affairs is not only a supportive function, right alongside sales, marketing, clinical development, but it's also a decision-making function. And these decisions, in turn, guide healthcare professionals' decisions. Okay. They also have AI, ChatGPT, various different sources. And the software development companies are now being more and more constrained in terms of their resources. The computational power, is limited. Yes, it's increasing rapidly, but the energy consumption that it's requiring is actually causing them to be a little bit more innovative, not only to consume, but to also generate new sources of energy, right? This limits the affordability for some of these innovative solutions, and also the ability to interpret this information, medical information, by healthcare professionals. And so this is why we have to come up with new sources of information, new approaches to how we communicate information, and we educate physicians and patients, all right, who are becoming much more of an important stakeholder and decision maker in their own care as well. Again, this is our panel of expert judges. We have pharma, biotech executives, global healthcare quality improvement leaders. We have 2 life science investors, operations experts, all right, all of whom will be responding to your ideas, all right. We've held the Olympic trials live before last year. This year it was virtual, but here's the thing. Here's the advantage of having a virtual event. You work at your own pace. You don't have to leave your current job. You don't have to ask for a vacation for 16 days. That's a question that I've been getting a lot. Okay. And so attend the opening day ceremony. It's going to have some amazing presentations. You're going to open up with just your 2-minute overview of your idea. All right. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. After which you can set your own sessions. They will all be recorded. All the content from the last 2 years is still recorded on my YouTube channel. All right. To understand, if you have a question of whether or not you need to sponsor this event or you need to attend it, spend time. If you question the educational value, go to the YouTube, All Out Coach YouTube playlists, contact me, go to the call for speakers link, which I've shared in my previous post as well. All right, to get a better sense of the preparation that goes into every single expert panel discussion and presentation. Here are our Olympic trial winners who have automatically qualified. All right, this is a chance to raise your flag, my friends. Raise your flags. Okay, the hymn of your country that you will represent will be played this year. Now, what can we look forward to? We have Bob Beamon speaking, 1968 Olympic gold medalist, once longest ever world record holder at 8 meters 890 in the long jump. Now, with these 6 Olympic trial winners have some amazing ideas that they've already submitted, but your ideas do not have to be completely resolved or polished. They can be in progress. They can be a position statement on an important issue, your stance on something that you want to change. Okay, this is the safe environment and competitive environment, yet learning Olympic village that will allow you to get those ideas across. Okay, so we have a virtual reality patient journey predictor. We have supervised machine learning idea to predict drug launch success. We have phage therapy for bacterial infections. Remember, phage therapy was discovered before the advent of antibiotics. It's a virus that treats many bacterial infections, and we have a huge problem with multi-drug resistance. Okay, fully interoperable case study of an electronic health records. Rare disease life project from Rwanda, and MedBandy wristband integration of NFC technology. Right, these are just some of the ideas that we will be adding to as you register for this event. Okay, again, this is the flow of the event. We opened the registration in July. Today's the last day to register, and now the competition is open to industry, current industry employees, consultants, those who have previously ever worked with medical affairs, within pharma, volunteers, consultants, solution vendors, okay, nonprofit organizations, patient advocates, investors. I personally invite you on behalf of the steering committee that you saw earlier. Okay, first week takes place virtually and all asynchronously. Asynchronously meaning at your own time. You only will have to spend from 9 a.m. to about 2 p.m., about half a day on October 1st for the opening ceremony. It's a Tuesday. Okay, you don't have to be there for all the presentations. If you're a competitor, you can provide a 2-minute overview of your event. Everything will be recorded. Okay, we do prefer to have live, attendees ask questions because it's your own benefit. It serves your own benefit. We voted on the first Friday. Same thing happens from round 2. We have some eliminations, and then the second round of voting takes place on October 11th. We have 4 events in play, okay? And ultimately, on the last weekend of our Olympics, the Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics, we'll have semifinals and finals, as well as a closing ceremony. We have one speaker that was just confirmed from a large pharma company at the closing ceremony today. So very excited. And that's when we will determine not only the $1,000 winners in each of those 4 categories, and I'll show you what they are. Here they are. Operations and technology, patient centricity, medical insights, scientific communication. Okay. These are the 4 events that will be contested. So in addition to that monetary prize, there will be special recognitions that will evaluate and distinguish the potential of particular ideas and across their various different aspects, promising aspects of those ideas. Okay, those that are most simple and fastest, most likely to be applied. Those that address possible hurdles and note the names, the titles of these awards. They're all in the Olympic theme. Okay. Ask me any questions. This is really the last time I'm going live this week. You will see more of me, not next week. Just watch my posts. But today is the last day to apply for an early bird discount pricing. Okay. Now, sponsors. Let me talk to the sponsors out there. Okay. These are our gold medal sponsors. Amadef Pharma, my agency, sponsors this event. This is not just our event, however, it's your event. Okay. Everyone who's at the steering committee, who's an expert judge, as well as whoever is within medical affairs, who's an innovator and who is a scientist and a researcher. Okay. That's interested in improving healthcare quality, access, continuity. Okay, so Medical Affairs Professional Society is the largest global organization that is dedicated to elevating this function, and they've sponsored this event before. The society numbers 10,000 professionals. We have Eversana as well. Okay, I'll highlight them as a silver medal sponsor as well. Okay, so what really draws the sponsors? Why should sponsors attend, right, or participate? Well, they will be recognized within the Hoover app. The Hoover app is where we will interact with each other. They will have their own page, dedicated page, where they'll have videos, brochures, links, such as the ones you see here, as well as the clickable banner, and they'll be able to sponsor a session, okay, anytime throughout the event. Now, on October 1st, not only will we introduce our competitors, our steering committee and judges, but also the sponsors. They will have a chance to provide a very brief overview of why they're sponsoring, of their company, their capabilities. All right. Every year, we talk about the innovation spectrum, which we change this graphic every year. And this year, we modeled this around the 3 types of analytics. The descriptive analytics, where you describe some trends that you see in order to make decisions. Okay. Then you may see some activities or some kind of outcomes, patient outcomes, that are always associated or correlated with a particular activity. Okay. Right. right? And that is predictive analytics. And that only shows correlation. And then ultimately we're aiming towards prescriptive analytics, where you demonstrate causation. That when you see your physician and they assign or they prescribe you a particular therapy and treatment, it will always, or it will be most likely to improve your quality of life and your signs, your symptoms, your clinical outcomes. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for causation, for demonstrating that your idea, your submission is most likely to cause an improvement in our decision making, improvement in access, continuity, and quality of care. And those are the the criteria that will be using in order to evaluate your every single idea. Okay, how relevant is the idea to the problem or the need? How predictive is it? Does your solution directly influence its outcome? Is there a novelty factor? And how likely is it to be uh, to be uh, uh, applied, right? Implemented. So these are the voting criteria that I wanted to go over again. Now, it may sound like it's complex, but I want to make sure that you feel you feel empowered to submit your ideas regardless of your previous experience. Okay, this is again a review of who should compete. Okay, even patient advocates, we welcome ideas from patient advocates, especially in that patient centricity category. Okay, again, here what I'll highlight is a current draft or finished proposal accompanied by any files, hyperlinks. You'll see that there is a flexibility in what you can submit and how you can submit your idea. Okay, it can be a PDF, a video, a link. All right. Now let's talk about speakers. I mentioned that we have lots of new speakers that we can look that we're confirming every day. Well, I want to just familiarize you with the actual with the link where you'll go when you press when you click the link in my posts. All right, so this is the call for speakers. Okay, and it provides the slogan, the the three parts, the three themes. The deadline to submit your speaker proposal is September 6th, and will take about 2 weeks by the steering committee to make a decision, approval, to confirm approval of your submission. Of course, the earlier you submit, the more time you have to deliver a quality presentation. So that's why we're starting earlier than we ever did before. We're starting this process 2 months earlier, even more. We started the registration. We opened it 3 months in advance in order to make sure to give everyone the best opportunity to continue to raise the quality of this event. You'll see many links, previous event winners. You can read more about them from 2022, from 2023. And those of you who will be submitting a call for speaker submission for a presentation, remember to make sure to register here in the invite-only speaker registration. This is different from an attendee or a competitor, so because you're not competing, right? You're just submitting a proposal to speak. Okay, and so that link will then take you. Okay, so I just pressed that link there. Okay, and that link, I'll show you basically very simply the actual registration for the speakers. Okay, here we go. Just one moment. It's going to show up on your screens in a second. Here it is. So this is an invite-only page. where you'll just go to the speaker and you'll register there. Okay, it'll allow you to start to network earlier, which many of our competitors are already doing right now. Okay, so there's a benefit of that. That it's not just 16 days, but it's actually longer than that. Okay, you're networking, and it's in a unique environment, right? Okay, now since I showed let's go back to the call for speakers page real quick in terms of what information do you have to provide. What I would say is as much information as early as possible. Okay, you can have up to 3 people speak in your presentation. All right. Um, and by the way, what I forgot to mention here is that you have previous event highlights. These are some of the notable expert panels. Okay, and links there. Keynote presentation from Longevity Medicine Company CEO James Pear, closing ceremony from last year. So all of these things you'll be able to browse through the links, and then just simply submit your information in terms of the speaker names, first and last names, your background or links to your LinkedIn. And here is the agenda. All right. So these are some of the requested topics that we have so far, most of which will be discussed, okay, and presented at this event this year. So this is why this is a preview, okay, for all of you who are actually tuning in right now. Health emergency of obesity medicine, immune modulation and oncology, new approaches to talent management. How do you get or stimulate that consistent performance? Okay. How do you break down performance in such a manner that you're sure to improve it continuously in the future? Okay. Improving medical impact on business outcomes. Longevity landscape update. Right? ESG and DEI in medical affairs. Competing versus collaborating versus AI in healthcare. Okay. And various topics. Adaptive performance and problem solving. Decision-driven analytics in pharma. Okay. I made sure to read these just so that to give emphasis to these topics because I think they deserve attention. We've picked them on the steering committee. However, you have the freedom to make your case for why your topic that's not on this list is also relevant to decision making, to access, to continuity and quality of care. So that's where you'll enter this information, custom topic, give it a title, provide an abstract in 250 words or less, provide a presentation agenda if you can. It's not required. And then your preferred format, very self-explanatory, as well as the length and the date. You can submit a proposal to speak either on the opening ceremony or closing ceremony. Okay? Ultimately, your personal goals at the end as well. Now, I'll finish with showing you the actual Huva app, where you will be interacting with your fellow innovators in science and healthcare. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. And as we wrap up here in the next few minutes, this is another chance. Post your comments, share this with your friends. Okay, we're excited. The excitement is just building up. The Olympics, the Paris Olympics, has certainly taught us lots of lessons. It's a great time to promote this event as well, which over the course of the last 3 years, it has built up its own pedigree and identity, if you will, all through word of mouth marketing and relationships that we've formed. Here it is. Here's last year's interface. Okay, I haven't shown this one from this year yet, but essentially, you have the agenda. Okay, that you can scroll through. Of course, you have the speakers, and these are some of our notable speakers from last year, many of whom are also on the steering committee. Entrepreneurs, sports medicine innovators and previous winners. Tanya Colonna, for example, from Oral Muscles, she will be also speaking to inform everyone about some of their accomplishments, including their medical grade wearable that's now used by the Dutch track and field team at the Paris Olympics, as well as many other teams in elite sports, soccer teams in South America, and how this event impacted that company, Aura Muscles. So she'll speak. Chris Cook is a longtime supporter, two-time Olympian, a champion, and a consultant in healthcare. Okay. And so I won't go into each one of these in detail. Gary Hall, of course, I do need to mention a few words about him. Patient advocate, type 1 diabetes patient himself when he won the gold, 5-time Olympic gold medalist, just a huge supporter of this event as well. Okay, so you will be able to interact with all of these speakers. And in the ideas section is where your idea will be highlighted. Okay, this is one of them, for example, Doc Nexus. Okay, and you can have your links, your videos, handouts, photos, images, and here on the right you see a thread of messages. Let's go back to the ideas section here and just show some others as well. Okay. So here was a winner from last year, for example, Tapped Health, with their different PDFs and photos of their app, of their mobile app, and remote patient monitoring. Okay. So this was a gold medal winner, for example.
Good evening, I'm Diane.
Entrepreneur as well, telemedics. He's a physician himself, and he shared a YouTube video that was a newscast that featured him, for example. Okay, and these are all the other innovation awards that he won and participated in, and the community. I mentioned learning and development. Look at all these messages, polls, community polls, 9 new polls here, for example, and all of these results that we shared as well. Documents. Here are the various different documents. Okay, state of the clinical working force from the advisory board, Salesforce report on pharma technology playbook, the trust and health barometer. All these reports were discussed throughout different sessions. There were podcasts every day in addition to the agenda. Okay, and agenda handouts as well. Okay, and let me just share with you the agenda also, just to let you know that this is all on your own time. However, every day, even though you have a opening day here with 5 or 6 sessions, every day had at least some kind of inspirational podcast or something ad hoc. For example, you see here competitor live presentation. This was a presentation that was arranged by the competitor themselves, so you're able to add your presentation and invite anyone you want among the expert judges or attendees in order to be able to share your ideas, to get people to think and give you feedback. And all of that is also available as a recording. So you have to use strategy, a winning strategy, in order to increase your chances of winning or in getting those recognitions. Well, there's a lot of gamification, leaderboards, resources. So let's see here. So some of these resources include session Q&A, okay, polls, your notes. You can take notes in every single session. See, here are some of my notes, for example. All right, so in short, this is a very interactive meeting. It's a unique experience that and a deep, unforgettable type of environment. The environment really also determines how likely you are to perform well and develop relationships, important relationships, and create opportunities for each other. Right? Why is it that some people do particularly well on when it counts at the Olympics and not elsewhere? Or why is it that people the level of competition, the intensity of competition is highest at the Olympics because of the environment, because of the name associated with this timeless event, right? The Olympics, which unites the whole entire world in a very positive spirit together, right? Where, yes, the intensity of competition is highest, but so is sportsmanship, the accountability for sportsmanship. You saw at the Paris Olympics how close the margins are between a gold medal and a silver medal. It's indistinguishable by the naked eye, in fact, as the 100-meter race proved with Noah Lyles, right, winning the gold, for example, right? That photo finish by 5 thousandths of a second. And that's what our keynote speaker last year, Gary Hall Jr., emphasized, amongst many other real-world insights from his condition, type 1 diabetes, where he mentioned just how small the margins of victory in every single one of his 5 gold medals was. And that was inspirational, right? So this type of environment is one that I think is important for attendees, competitors, but also for sponsors who are interested in seeing this event grow every year. Just like our distinguished steering committee, it's a unique opportunity, an unforgettable setting to differentiate your company, your brand, your pipeline, hire, partner, learn, innovate, get access, private access in our community of innovation Olympians, and get industry expert feedback on what you're promoting, because the sponsors will also have their dedicated pages as well. So with that, enjoy this weekend, the last Olympic weekend in Paris as well. And a heartfelt personal invitation goes out to all of you from me on behalf of the steering committee of the 2024 Medical Affairs Innovation Olympics. Sign up today for Mayo 2024. Have a great weekend.